Good morning, Flosstube friends. Today is Friday, December 6th, and it is 7-ish in the morning for me. And if you can't tell from my voice, I am sick. I have been sick all week. I did post in my community. I made a community post on my channel giving a quick update, but if you did not see that, yes, I've been sick, but if you can bear with my voice for the remainder of this video, I do have a lot of progress to show you. And I have my Haku mug today. So the last time I filmed was Sunday. That was December 1st. And that night, my throat was getting a little itchy. So I decided to take a half a dose of NyQuil before bed. And when I woke up, I was so groggy. I thought it was the NyQuil affecting me. But I forced myself out of bed. And yeah, I forced myself out of bed to get my morning routine started. And I just couldn't shake how groggy I was. And it took me almost an hour before I realized this isn't the medicine. I'm groggy because I'm sick. And I eventually ended up losing my voice by midday on Monday. And I was able to get my voice back on Tuesday. But whenever I would talk, I would start having these horrible coughing fits. Now, my voice obviously isn't 100%, but at least I could have a conversation without making myself sick. So every morning I would wake up, So every morning I would wake up and I would feel like today is the day I'm going to skip. I'm not gonna stick to my Christmas Flossmas plan because I would just feel so crummy every morning, and it would take me a couple of hours before I felt well enough to stitch, but not well enough to film. So I was taking short videos of spinning my wheel every morning. So let's get to that. So the plan was, if you're new here, the plan is that every morning from the 1st through Christmas, I would spin a project. 99% of those projects are new starts. And most of these new starts are small freebie patterns. So Cross Stitch the Globe put out a very useful video of free patterns. However, that didn't come out until after I had already acquired everything that I was going to work on this year. So I will use them for reference for next Christmas. And I know that I need to go through that video and acquire all those charts before they're not available anymore. So instead, I mostly referenced Lizzy, which it says at Lizzy Purple Cloud on YouTube. Back in the summer, when she was doing Christmas in July, she put out a video with a bunch of free patterns. Most of these I already had, but what I didn't have, I did go ahead and download. So most of my free patterns are from she referenced in her video. So what I did was prior to December, I made a list of as many Christmas or winter themed projects that I would want to start. And then I went through all of my scrap fabric to decide to help figure out how to utilize those scraps to work on as many projects as possible. Like I said, most of them are free charts. A few of them have been purchased from Etsy, and only one project is an actual whip. So, what I do now, and then those scraps, I did, if I felt like I needed to dye the fabric, prior to December, I did dye some of the fabric. Otherwise, I just worked with how the fabric already was. And then every morning after I spin my whip or project, I keep referring to them as whips, even though they haven't technically been started. So that bothers me. You probably don't even care. But I'm just, if I say whip, I'm not going to keep correcting myself, just so you know that I want to correct myself. So when the project gets called, I pull the fabric out. I pull the fabric out of the bag that I have it in, and then I grab this box. This box is all my floss. They're divided up into Ziploc baggies in either sandwich size or half gallon or gallon. It just depends. And like, this is a bag of greens, and it is a mess. My bag of blues, or a bag of blues, because I have a few different bags of blues. But then I also have bags like this that are from old projects that I haven't kit down. So I know that these are not full skeins. So I just have this mess of floss. And as I've said previously, and I have this stuff too, like you could buy from Walmart. So, and then I have a bunch of black 310s. These got buried. And then I also purchased, specifically for December, these red and green. So yeah, so this red and green floss, this actually has this floss actually says, like, this green says it's 923, and this red, it says it's 22 dark red garnet. So, but these are very Christmas colors for me, so I figured I would probably be using them for a lot of these projects. However, all the rest of the stuff, there's no numbers. I just have to guess. So it's just all so when a chart has a color number on it, I just will choose whatever is the closest to that color that I think is closest to that color. And then the plan is that every morning I would spin, work on that project for a few hours. I give myself 2 or 3 hours to work on that project, and then in theory I would pack it away. And then I would work on either my Haidesal or my diamond painting, because my Haidesal has a deadline for this month, and my diamond painting technically doesn't have a deadline. I just would like to get it finished before New Year's. So So let me show you what I've been working on. So day 2, I spun, oh no, scratch that. Day one, I spun Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas from Forest Embroidery. And this is how much I got done. I'm using that red that I purchased. Like I said, I'm going to use that red and green for as many projects as I can, because those are my favorite Christmas shades, I guess. So, so this is what I started with. Of course, I wanted to keep going because I like to challenge myself to see. I like to challenge myself to see how quickly I can finish a project. And for these small projects, I feel like I could get those done in a day. I didn't start this until after dinner time, so this was between dinner time and bedtime. That's all I got done. It was like 300 stitches though, so, and I did not count stitches. Uh, I didn't count stitches for any of these projects except for this this and one other project because they fit into Pattern Keeper. So yeah, so I will not be counting stitches like doing an end of the month total for these. This is just, I spend the day working on it and then it gets put away. And I need to try not to tempt myself to go back and pick up a previous project. I want to challenge myself to not touch this until next December. So, okay. So day 2. Hopefully, at least I hope this was day 2. So day 2, I pulled Gingerbread Saltbox, I think is what it was called. And this is my project progress on it. You see the brown and the white. I know it's hard to see the white on the white, but I think I only worked on this one for 3 hours. This was the first day that I lost my voice, and I got a late start on it, and then I think I started it around maybe close to lunchtime and then put it away before dinner. And I will put, you would have already seen it, but I will put the website or designer or whatever information I can in the bottom of this video, as well as in the description. So day 3, I pulled Joy 2. This is, I got the whole thing done. I finished the whole thing. I honestly didn't. I thought, oh, I'll just do the bird and then call it quits. But I got the bird done so fast that I started working on the wreath. I thought maybe I'll just work on the brown and then I could save all the green and red for next year. But it was, the bird and the wreath came together so quickly that I felt like I might as well just finish the whole thing. Now, doing the letters, those did take me a little while. I think it took me like 2 or 3 hours to do the letters, as well as the berries. So the berries, uh, the big berries are partial. They're like the partial, like 4/4, four quarters to make it. And then the small berries, they just are one tiny square. But I did these tiny ones. I did a square, and then I also outlined them so that they they all looked consistent and not just a red X. So that one's finished, which means that next year I get to replace it with something else. I keep thinking today's the 5th. Okay, so I ran into a few issues while I was spinning for day 4. One, I kept hitting the record button when I didn't mean to. So when I would go to record the spin, I was ending the video instead of starting it. So I spun like 4 times before I actually got the video recorded. So, and it ended up landing on, what's the name? Christmas ginger tree. So, well, I went to go pull out Christmas ginger tree, which would be the only new start that was already pre-kitted up because I was supposed to start that last year. It was an Etsy purchase, but I could not find it anywhere. And so instead of spinning again, I decided to pick something. Now I was really groggy that morning. I just did not feel like starting something with a bunch of colors or color changes. And then, but I also didn't want to pick something super easy that would be a quick finish because I wanted to save that for a different day. So I ended up choosing Christmas Morning, which was an Etsy purchase. I'm gonna guess it goes this way. You'll see why in a second. So I was able to do some plain stitching, or I'm sorry, some monotone stitching. I knew it wasn't monogamous. I got to do some monotone stitching, um, and it was nice. So because it's so large, uh, I put in 3 hours, and then I didn't feel bad about putting it aside. So that was another plus. Uh, and since I put it aside on time, instead of trying to push through it, I was able to spend some time on my Haidsaw, which I hadn't gotten to touch so far this week. And I was able to finish all the black stitches, uh, which was like 1,000 stitches left of black. So, well, I could just show you. I wasn't going to show you because I did get some more stitching on it again yesterday, but this is my Haidsaw so far. So all of this black I was able to finish. I did start it on Thanksgiving. Uh, actually, I I don't know when the last time I showed it. So oh, I showed it. I think I showed it after Thanksgiving. I had started the black, and then I finished it, and then yesterday I was working on as many like small stitches, whatever has the least amount of stitches, to knock out as many colors as possible. Because do I have it next to me? So I have these floss cards that I made for the Haidsaw. So I've been systematically uh, putting, like, finishing a color and then putting the floss away. So so I was trying to work on colors that were as few as possible, so I could put these up, so I could put the floss away, and then that floss could go towards another project. I feel like the leftover floss might go best with Alice, my Bill Bell from Thread Geeks, and my Haidsaw is at 89% complete. So yesterday's pull was Winter, which I think it's Winter. It was winter 2019, I think is what the image says. And this is what I got done. I didn't want to do all these colors. Uh, I mean, the entire house, the entire below the roof house is done. I did start some of the snow, but I never got around to doing the actual roof. But I didn't want to have to save any floss for next year, which I showed you. I bagged it up. So I think I showed you. I can't even remember right now. So whether I did or not, uh, when I finish one of these projects, or when I go to put the project away, any floss that I used or pulled for this would get put into a sandwich Ziploc bag and saved until next year. And I don't want to have to hold on to floss all year if I don't have to. So, so when I work on these projects, I would prefer to do one color at a time, but this chart and the way my brain was working yesterday, I just felt like I needed to get this house done. And you can all these white parts inside the house, those are those are going to be white stitches. I haven't filled them in yet. It's just that's still the fabric. So these will be filled in with white. I'm just probably going to do those last. So that's everything that I worked on. So let's go ahead and spin for today's project. And actually, so since today is Friday, and I'm not 100% well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin for today, Friday the 6th, but I'm also going to spin for Saturday and Sunday so I can get through the whole weekend and heal, try to rest my voice and hopefully feel better by Monday. And, oh, and then every day I'm also marking off. I'm marking off each project on my wheel, uh, like removing the slice. The slice. I remove the slice uh, because I don't want to delete it because it'll get put, theoretically, it'll get put back next year. Except for Joy 2, which got finished, in which place I would just change that one out. So, oh, and I didn't even, let's see here, Winter, I did that one. Winter, Merry Christmas, Joy 2, Gingerbread, Christmas. Okay, so Christmas Ginger Tree. I didn't finish explaining that. Christmas Ginger Tree. I could not find that anywhere. And so I was sure that I had stolen the fabric from it and used it for a Christmas project, or sorry, for a Halloween project. And in which case would have gotten stolen for some of these projects. Turns out it was not missing, or it was with the rest of the fabric. I had stuck it, kitted up, and I put it with the other fabrics. So I did find it yesterday, so I did put it back on the wheel right now, uh, and but I will still work on Christmas morning if that gets called again, because I think because um, a project there was one other project that got pulled from the list at the last second that never got replaced, and I was just going to work on Aurora Cabin an extra day. So I could potentially work on Christmas morning again. So let me just check this to make sure. I think that's all there. Okay, so we're going to spin it 3 times. And then hopefully when I come back on Monday morning, I won't be all crummy nasally. So Christmas bears, the blue one, the polar. Okay, that's Owl Forest. Next, Winter Holly, and that is the sister piece to that Gingerbread Saltbox. And 12 Days of Christmas, which is the Plum Street. And I just realized I coughed during that, so I will probably uh, see if I could mute the volume on that spot when I go to edit. So now that I know what I'll be working on for the next few days, hopefully I come back on Monday, not all congested, uh, sinuses better, fingers crossed. So until next week, happy stitching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!